Welcome back to News 3 today at 11. New legislation signed by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp will provide tuition grants to any public university in the state for families of public safety workers and educators who are killed or permanently disabled in the line of duty in Georgia. We are talking about Georgia Senate Bill 20. State Representative Jesse Petrie and the 200 Club of the Coastal Empire CEO and President Mark Dana join us now with more. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Well, first of all, we're talking about a brand new measure that was recently signed. We have video of Governor Kemp signing that legislation. What does that mean, and what impact does this measure potentially have?
Well, the 200 Club is a nonprofit organization that provides that education, room and board, books, tuition, and significant financial assistance to those family members who suffer that loss. A first responder who's killed in the line of duty. We represent 18 counties in Georgia and 2 in South Carolina. This is huge because this encompasses the entire state. This measure was spearheaded by Representative Petrie, who 2 years ago took this on, and after that time period got the support of our delegation and the House and the Senate, and then thankfully, well, I guess it's without question that the governor was eager and happy to sign the bill into law, and we're just very appreciative of our legislative body for looking out for our first responders, and it's no surprise, but we're very thankful.
And Representative Petrie, why was this so important to get this measure passed? Why was it so important to you to get this measure passed?
It really was, and again, thanks to the great philanthropic work of the 200 Club, we've had these measures to help these individuals for so many years. I'll tell you why it's important. In Georgia, in so many ways, we send a message here that law enforcement is important to us and that their families are important to us. So whether it's law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMTs, prison guards, all are encompassed by this measure. And what this measure does is ensure that if they are killed or permanently disabled in the line of duty, that their children and now their spouses will have access to free tuition in the university system of Georgia or the technical college system of Georgia, so that those remaining spouses can improve themselves and provide for their family with the absence of a primary caregiver oftentimes.
And this measure has a ripple effect in a positive way, right?
It sure does.
Absolutely.
You know, it was always our hope to have our first responder families cared for statewide in this way. The fact that teachers were added onto this is extremely important. Unfortunately, in the society, we have elements that want to harm our kids, and teachers oftentimes go in between that harm and their children, and give their life to protect the children. And so we're pleased to have that on this measure as well. And we look forward to continuing to help the families. The gaps of books, meal plans, utilities, housing will all remain in the scope of what the 200 Club does. And now, because this frees up some of our obligation throughout the counties that we serve, we're looking forward to helping out critical injuries in a more meaningful way to ensure that they have the quality of life that they deserve should they not be able to work. So this is extremely important, and it was a great effort. Obviously, Representative Petrie, our chairman, Jeff Jepson, and Michael Owens played a pivotal role in this, and we're blessed to have a community, a legislative body, and a governor who supports our first responders and our teachers the way that they do, and we're looking forward to seeing this play out. We're very saddened by the loss, obviously. That'll never go away. That hurt will never go away. But giving the children, you know, when first responders are critically injured, the only thing they think about during that time period is who's going to take care of my family. And this is a way for the state of Georgia to say, we are going to take care of your families in this way, to give independence to the family through an educational process. So it's really important.
And Representative Petrie, we have about 30 seconds left, but it took 2 years to get to the governor's desk.
It did.
What steps did you have to take in order for it to get there?
Well, what you have to do, every bill is a matter of selling an idea to the body. And this really was easy to sell, but you know, oftentimes measures take a while to move through the legislative process. We had hoped to pass it last year. Took 2 years to get it done, but thankfully we did. And we had a lot of great support from a lot of members who really thought this was really beneficial. You know, even while we were debating this bill, we had an officer murdered up in Roswell, Georgia. And Chuck Martin, Chairman Chuck Martin, who chaired the committee it was on, it was really powerful to him. And so that he had just lost an officer who had a family and who could benefit from this. And so sadly, as Mark said, sadly this happens too often. Our law enforcement officers put their lives in danger every day they step out the door. And we've got to make sure we're stepping up for them. And I'm thrilled that we were able to get it done.
All right. Representative Petrie, Mark Dana, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
And for more information on the Georgia Senate Bill 20 or the 200 Club of the Coastal Empire, visit our website, wsav.com/200club. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 Today at 11. We'll be right back.